Ho, trumpets, sound a war note. Ho, lictors, clear the way. The knights will ride in all their pride along the streets today. Today the doors and windows are hung with garlands all, from Castor in the forum to Mars without the wall. Each knight is robed in purple, with olive each is crowned. A gallant war horse under each paws haughtily the ground. While flows the yellow river, while stands the sacred hill, the proud Ides of Quintilis shall have such honour still. Gay are the Martian calends, December's nones are gay, but the proud Ides, when the squadron rides, shall be Rome's whitest day. Unto the great twin brethren we keep this solemn feast. Swift, swift, the great twin brethren came spurring from the east. They came o'er wild Parthenius, tossing in waves of pine, or Cirrha's dome, or Adria's foam, or purple Apennine, from where, with flutes and dances, their ancient mansion rings, in lordly Lacedaemon, the city of two kings, to where, by Lake Regillus, under the Porcian height, all in the lands of Tusculum was fought the glorious fight. Now on the place of slaughter are cots and sheepfolds seen, and rows of vines, and fields of wheat, and apple orchards green. The swine crush the big acorns that fall from corners oaks. Upon the turf by the fair fount the reaper's pottage smokes. The fisher baits his angle, the hunter twangs his bow. Little they think on those strong limbs that moulder deep below. Little they think how sternly that day the trumpets pealed, how in the slippery swamp of blood warrior and warhorse reeled, how wolves came with fierce gallops, and crows on eager wings to tear the flesh of captains and peck the eyes of kings. How thick the dead lay scattered under the Porcian height, how through the gates of Tusculum raved the wild stream of flight, and how the lake Regillus bubbled with crimson foam, what time the 30 cities came forth to war with Rome. But Roman, when thou standest upon that holy ground, look thou with heed on the dark rock that girds the dark lake round. So shalt thou see a hoof mark stamped deep into the flint. It was not hoof of mortal steed that made so strange a dint. There to the great twin brethren vow thou thy vows, and pray that they, in tempest and in flight, will keep thy head alway. Since last the great twin brethren of mortal eyes were seen, have years gone by 184 and 13. That summer a Virginius was consul first in place. The second was stout Aulus of the Posthumian race. The herald of the Latines from Gabii came in state. The herald of the Latines passed through Rome's eastern gate. The herald of the Latines did in our forum stand, and there he did his office, a sceptre in his hand. Here, senators and people of the good town of Rome, the 30 cities charge you to bring the Tarquins home. And if ye still be stubborn to work the Tarquins wrong, the 30 cities warn you, look your walls be strong. Then spake the consul Aulus, he spake a bitter jest. Once the jays sent a message unto the eagle's nest. Now yield thou up thine eyrie unto the carrion kite, or come forth valiantly and face the jays in deadly fight. Forth looked in wrath the eagle, and carrion kite and jay, soon as they saw his beak and claw, fled screaming far away. The herald of the Latines hath hied him back in state. The fathers of the city are met in high debate. Then spake the elder consul, an ancient man and wise. Now hearken, conscript fathers, to that which I advise. In seasons of great peril 'tis good that one bear sway. Then choose we a dictator whom all men shall obey. Camerium knows how deeply the sword of Aulus bites, and all our city calls him the man of 70 fights. Then let him be dictator for 6 months and no more, and have a master of the knights, and axes 24. So Aulus was dictator, the man of 70 fights. He made Beauteous Elves master of the night. On the third morn thereafter, at dawning of the day, did Aulus and Beauteous set forth with their array. Sempronius Atratinus was left in charge at home, with boys and with grey-headed men to keep the walls of Rome. Hard by the lake Regillus our camp was pitched at night. Eastward a mile the Latines lay under the Porcian height. Far over hill and valley their mighty host was spread, and with their 1,000 watchfires the midnight sky was red. Up rose the golden morning over the Porcian height. The proud ides of Quintilis marked evermore in white. Not without secret trouble our bravest saw the foe, for girt by 70,000 spears the 30 standards rose. From every warlike city that boasts the Latian name, foredoomed to dogs and vultures that gallant army came. From Sicia's purple vineyards, from Norba's ancient wall, from the white streets of Tusculum, the proudest town of all, from where the witch's fortress o'erhangs the dark blue seas, from the still glassy lake that sleeps beneath Aresia's trees, those trees in whose dim shadow the ghastly priest doth reign, the priest who slew the slayer and shall himself be slain. From the drear banks of Uffens, where flights of marsh-fowl play, and buffaloes lie wallowing through the hot summer's day. From the gigantic watchtowers, no work of earthly men, whence chorus sentinels o'erlook the never-ending fen. From the Laurentian jungle the wild hogs reedy home, from the green steeps whence Anio leaps in floods of snow-white foam. Aresia, Cora, Norba, Bellitrae, with the might of Secia and of Tusculum, were marshalled on the right. The leader was Mamilius, prince of the Latian name. Upon his head a helmet of red gold shone like flame. High on a gallant charger of dark grey hue he rode. Over his gilded armour a vest of purple flowed, woven in the land of sunrise by Syria's dark-browed daughters, and by the sails of Carthage brought far o'er the southern waters. Lavinium and Laurentum had on the left their post, with all the banners of the marsh and banners of the coast. Their leader was false Sextus, that wrought the deed of shame. With restless pace and haggard face to his last field he came, and said he saw strange visions which none beside might see, and that strange sounds were in his ears which none might hear but he. A woman fair and stately, but pale as are the dead, oft through the watches of the night sat spinning by his bed. And as she plied the distaff, in a sweet voice and low, she sang of great old houses and fights fought long ago. So spun she, and so sang she, until the east was grey, then pointed to her bleeding breast, and shrieked and fled away. But in the centre thickest were ranged the shields of foes, and from the centre loudest the cry of battle rose. There Tibur marched, and Pedum beneath proud Tarquin's rule, and Ferentinum of the rock, and Gabii of the pool. There rode the Volscian succours. There in the dark stern ring the Roman exiles gathered close around the ancient king. Though white as Mount Soracte when winter nights are long, his beard flowed down o' mail and belt, his heart and hand were strong. Under his hoary eyebrows still flashed forth quenchless rage, and if the lance shook in his gripe, 'twas more with hate than age. Close at his side was Titus, on an Apulian steed, Titus the youngest Tarquin, too good for such a breed. Now on each side the leaders gave signal for the charge, and on each side the footmen strode on with lance and targe, and on each side the horsemen stuck their spurs deep in gore, and front to front the armies met with a mighty roar. And under that great battle the earth with blood was red, and like the Pomptine fog at morn the dust hung overhead. And louder still and louder rose from the darkened field the braying of the war horns, the clang of sword and shield, the rush of squadrons sweeping like whirlwinds o'er the plain, the shouting of the slayers and screeching of the slain. False Sextus rode out foremost. His look was high and bold. His corslet was of bison's hide, plated with steel and gold. As glares the famished eagle from the Digentian rock on a choice lamb that bounds alone before Bandusia's flock, Herminius glared on Sextus and came with eagle speed. Herminius on black Auster, brave champion on brave steed. In his right hand the broadsword that kept the bridge so well, and on his helm the crown he won when proud Fidenae fell. Woe to the maid whose lover shall cross his path today. False Sextus saw and trembled, and turned and fled away, as flies the woodman in the Calabrian brake, when through the reeds gleams the round eye of that fell speckled snake. So turned, so fled false Sextus, and hid him in the rear, behind the dark Lavinian ranks, bristling with crest and spear. But far to the north, Ibutius, the master of the knights, gave Tubero of Norba to feed the Porcian kites. Next under those red horse hoofs, Flaccus of Caesar lay. Better had he been pruning among his elms that day. Mamilius saw the slaughter, and tossed his golden crest, and towards the master of the knights through the thick battle pressed. Ibutius smote Mamilius so fiercely on the shield that the great lord of Tusculum well nigh rolled on the field. Mamilius smote Ibutius with a good aim and true, just where the neck and shoulder join, and pierced him through and through. And brave Ibutius Elva fell swooning to the ground, but a thick wall of bucklers encompassed him around. His clients from the battle bare him some little space, and filled a helm from the dark lake, and bathed his brow and face. And when at last he opened his swimming eyes to light, men say the earliest words he spake was, "Friends, how goes the fight?" But meanwhile in the centre great deeds of arms were wrought. There Aulus the dictator and there Valerius fought. Aulus with his good broadsword a bloody passage cleared, to where amidst the thickest foes he saw the long white beard. Flat lighted that good broadsword upon proud Tarquin's head. He dropped the lance, he dropped the reins, he fell as for the dead. Down Aulus springs to slay him, with eyes like coals of fire, but faster Titus hath sprung down, and hath bestrode his sire. Latian captains, Roman knights, fast down to earth they spring, and hand to hand they fight on foot around the ancient king. First Titus gave tall Caeso a death wound in the face. Tall Caeso was the bravest man of the brave Fabian race. Aulus slew Rex of Gabia, the priest of Juno's shrine. Valerius smote down Julius of Rome's great Julian line. Julius, who left his mansion high on the Velian hill, and through all turns of weal and woe followed proud Tarquin still. Now right across proud Tarquin a corpse was Julius laid, and Titus groaned with rage and grief, and at Valerius made. Valerius struck at Titus, and lopped off half his crest, but Titus stabbed Valerius a span deep in the breast. Like a mast snapped by the tempest, Valerius reeled and fell. Ah, woe is me for the good house that loves the people well. Then shouted loud the Latines, and with one rush they bore the struggling Romans backward 3 lances' length and more.